Bridge of the Doomed. The only movie where the bridge is the main character and everyone else is just there to die, and where zombies blowing up is entertaining. It all begins in the darkness of the night as two soldiers stand guard. They're suddenly confronted by a bloodthirsty pack of zombies. One gets bitten, the other survives and manages to alert their comrades. General Vasquez, who's been tracking these undead horrors on the news, takes action, defending his camp against the now zombified soldiers who've attacked. He holds out hope as help is en route. It's daytime now, but the fight still continues. And it's not just the army camp that's suffering. Elsewhere, a girl tries to end herself because she's ambushed. Her true fate, however, is much crueler. She is tortured to death by the zombies who corner and consume her. News reports ensue as reporters from all over the world report the chaos that has been happening. A strong curfew in place and people burning trees in hopes of killing the zombies. This virus brings the dead back to life, and it's spreading. Back at the camp, the soldiers seem to have staved off the attack, but the general gets disturbing news. Most, if not all, of his surviving soldiers could be infected by the virus through cuts, burns, hostile saliva, or blood. Though as of now, things are calm. In the forest, the tensions are high as the soldiers act as a barricade to the zombies stumbling towards their direction. More gunfire follows as the dead drop one after the other. Still, they manage to overpower some soldiers, pulling out their insides. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Henderson's situation is unaccounted for as his wife arrives at the camp alongside the welfare office. The general offers her his grievances while ensuring her that they're trying their best to find her husband. Later, the Army's defensive preparation escalates as the general tells Sergeant Hernandez about the reinforcements that will be arriving in 48 hours. Soon after, the sergeant's team leaves for its mission, launching comedic quips at each other while on their journey. They arrive at, you guessed correctly, a bridge. The horrible CGI shows us that it runs over a river. Hernandez and her team are told to wire the bridge and put sandbags right across. Looks like they're turning the bridge into one of their defenses. Hernandez also asks her colleague, Eklund, to place the ancient-looking detonators around their defense. Back at the camp, the surviving soldiers are still being monitored when Colonel Karen arrives to meet with the general. Their current situation is meek. He cannot bring with him many men as he doesn't even know how many of them are still alive, and those living are searching for any survivors. On top of this, the communications are down and the intelligence gathered is little, unreliable, and prone to rapid change. What's a safe zone today could be attacked and change in an hour. The two men assume that since one of their most competent bases, Northolt, was attacked 24 hours ago, the enemy's ranks have risen considerably. The zombies were last seen heading south, and providing they don't change direction, they'll rightly be heading towards the river. The only way across is the bridge we saw earlier, and the general is sending Lieutenant Whitmore and his team to defend that bridge, or blow it if absolutely necessary. He's relying on Karen to send enough reinforcements. They can't even blow up the bridge straight away because after that area is cleared, the general plans on taking back this country piece by piece, and for that, he needs all infrastructure intact. Later, we see two soldiers defend a woman, Susan, being harassed by another man, Dale, a human man. She proceeds to tell them that she's with a group nearby, and one of them offers to escort her there. Soon, we meet her friends and their leader, Big Jim Gill. It is revealed that it was another member of the group that attacked Susan. A woman, Erin, rushes in with a machine gun and demands that the soldiers leave, claiming that she's trying to protect them. It seems that these people have got something against the soldiers. Soon, the rest of the soldiers' group arrives just as things are starting to get heated. Dale's wife jumps on one of them, cursing all the way, when the soldiers reveal that they gave Dale a chance to leave, but he decided to threaten Susan even more, getting himself shot. Things sort of calm down, and soldiers leave, but not before warning the group that the hostiles are heading their way, but their words fall on deaf ears. Back at the bridge, the preparations are in full blow as Lieutenant Whitmore informs the general that the bridge is secured and that they found a human refugee camp nearby. Night falls, and something pulls the detonator over the edge of the bridge. As a soldier, Rudd tries to retrieve it. His face is brutally clawed by a zombie as the others scramble to up their defenses. Hernandez and Eklund are tasked with the retrieval of the detonator while the others head to the riverbank to eliminate the creature. One of the soldiers, Sanders, says that he saw something, but it was neither an animal or a zombie. It was something else. Another soldier, Frost, is lost, and the soldiers try to find him. Meanwhile, Rudd, whose face was clawed off, wakes up with a fierce growl, turned into one of those things. Thankfully, the team is nearby, so the turned creature ends up being shot in the head. At the same time, Eklund is successful in retrieving the detonator, the machine still intact. Next day, the team is horrified to discover that something took Rudd's corpse. They spread out again in hopes of finding it. Unfortunately, Whitmore is attacked by a zombie, and it takes more than one bullet to kill the creature. Sergeant Hernandez, who's now in charge, eliminates Whitmore as he would have turned soon. She alerts the general about their situation and gets the news that there's still no information about reinforcements. At night, Lachlan is on bridge guard duty when the unknown creature pulls him over the edge. The other soldiers get on high alert, something pleading with the sergeant to return to the camp. She doesn't budge, however, a stern believer in the fact that reinforcements will soon arrive. Next morning, Hernandez and Sanders return to the refugee camp in hopes of gaining some supplies. Most of those people still don't believe that Dale attempted to harass Susan. Hernandez offers some woman that they can come with them, but they decline, saying that Big Jim has been working really hard for their survival. This is just in time for the man's arrival. Hernandez warns them about the zombies and gets to know that both parties aren't doing well in terms of food. They're barely surviving. Elsewhere, two soldiers split up again as one climbs a tree to gather some apples and the other, Sharrock, patrols the area. Soon the latter returns, only to find an old man looking for the hidden food stash. Suddenly, two zombies arrive, but Sharrock is quick to get rid of them. Meanwhile, Susan's friend proposes that they should leave the place, but Susan is determined to stay, to take care of her family. Hernandez and Sanders arrive with the same preposition, but both girls deny this time. The sun sets and Vasquez commands Kiran that he bring all his men and even their families to secure the area. They don't have the supplies to support that many people, but if their plan doesn't work, then it won't matter anyway. Kiran agrees after some deliberation. At the bridge, the sergeant is on patrol when she hears something on the bridge. Thinking it's the creature, she moves towards it and whispers to Sanders to alert their men. Soon, all the soldiers are there and two proceed onto the bridge. But we see a shadow run behind them. One soldier sees that all their food is gone and shouts for the other guys. However, most of the detonator charges from the bridge are gone. Apparently, this creature is smart as well. Now, there's only one set of charges left. Hernandez asks the soldier to keep an eye on it, even if it won't be able to bring the bridge down. She also asks the others to take the food cans, fill them with stones, and hang them on the bridge, the old school way. Next day, the soldiers notice the horde of zombies moving towards them. They go to the refugee camp again, aiming to take their food supplies by force. Alas, there's no food on site. The soldiers leave, but are too busy listening to their leader's commands to notice the horde of zombies right beside them. All of them are quick to get in positions and start shooting the creatures. The zombies fall one by one, but so does the soldiers' ammunition. At last, they eliminate that group of zombies. On the bridge, Hernandez tells Eklund to cut off the best of cable and rig it straight to the detonator. He warns that would mean a blast so strong that the soldiers will blow up as well, but she says that it might not come to that. At night, a working Eklund hears strange noises before he's pulled down by the creature all of a sudden. The last detonator goes along with him. Hernandez rushes in and tells 3 soldiers to guard the bridge while she goes to save the fallen soldier. She even gives them her gun and ammo, for they themselves don't have much left. The others protest, but her decision is made. At the refugee camp, a man lies dying, but he's infected. His life ends quickly and he gets back up just as fast. The zombie's first victims are those closest to him, before he goes on to bring an end to the whole camp. Next morning, Hernandez finds a cave beside the river and prepares to enter. We get a glimpse of the other soldiers back at the bridge about to return to base against her orders, only to cut back to her inside the cave with a flashlight. Her eyes widen as she steps on fallen, dead bodies. Meanwhile, more zombies rush into the refugee camp while the people scramble to survive. A handful of them get in the car to save themselves, while the others fight. The screams are heard at the bridge, but Sharrock doesn't want to save them. He wants to leave. He even fights Sanders, who has no option but to stab him into calmness. Unfortunately, he will have to kill him, otherwise Sharrock will wake up as a zombie. Back in the cave, the sergeant follows a trail of blood towards the detonator but is attacked by the creature. She proceeds to bravely fight with him, and we cut to the refugee camp to see the soldiers coming in to save the others. After ending the nearest zombies, the 2 soldiers enter the car, only to find that the keys are with Big, who's out fighting. Fortunately, they're able to end zombie Big Jim in time and retrieve the keys to drive away. In the cave, Hernandez stabs the monster in the heart. It lies still, as if dead, but that only lasts moments. He gets back up with a growl, but the sergeant repeatedly stabs him. He dies finally. Sadly, the woman's face is splattered with its blood. She stumbles out with the detonator in time to meet Sanders and his car. She asserts that they must let her off at the bridge to detonate it. Lynn argues, but she points at her condition and says that she knew she was never going to survive this. On top of all this, the car gets stuck in the middle of the bridge and a horde of zombies rush towards Hernandez. She fights them, but can't help but be overtaken. Just as all S and Vasquez arrive with their reinforcements and gunfire ensues, the creatures fall like dominoes and the survivors in the car are able to escape. Susan screams in agony as her friend is eliminated for showing signs of infection. Meanwhile, Hernandez lies amidst the zombies. She's turning. The general tells her that she achieved her mission. She should be proud. She won't be forgotten. So many will survive now because of her. She pleads with the general to take her out of her misery, and a gunshot echoes. The film ends with the general ending the zombies, taking back the country piece by piece.